essentially, the idea is that all of us are on the same page for understanding how tough it is to make a website. It includes so many stakeholders. It includes a technical understanding of the product. It includes a sales understanding, and then it includes copywriting skills, right? How do you push someone to go click a CTA? I think you all can take your hands down, guys. Right, so the UX of it, right, the graphics of it, the development of it, so many different kinds of specializations involved. And traditionally, like the kind of websites I have made, I have gone through long 2-month long, 3-month long iteration processes to make something happen, to make my vision come to life. And of course, like in the promo video, I speak about how AI has collapsed those roles and collapsed those timelines into like one singular full stack role, right? So first off, let me just quickly show what I've been able to build. For those who are new to the community, we at FlytBase, we are running an active AI community called AI at FlytBase. And this is what the website looks like. You have seen a little bit of this in the promo video. And yes, all of this has been made single-handedly by me, and I super don't have any development background. So how did we get here, right? First off, like when we were discussing, like the team was discussing this idea of like, okay, we should probably have a website where we are able to document all of our AI hacks, where we are able to push people to join our WhatsApp group, right? We want to be able to document why we are doing this in the first place. What is the manifesto behind AI at FlytBase? Why share our AI playbook? All of these things need to be documented somewhere, and we need a website for it. This idea came in, and since I was owning this community, I was like, okay, let me quickly put something together. And like in like my traditional mindset, I'm like, okay, I need a website. The first thing I need to do is produce a sitemap. Now, in order to produce a sitemap, like I actually originally started with like, you know, your typical whimsical diagram of like flowcharts and like this page, that page, this section, that section. Until I was like, okay, like I'm in an AI native organization. I need to think faster, I need to operate faster. And that is when the hunt for a better AI stack began. I think I spent around 2 weeks just looking for tools, right? So your Hostinger, your Wix, your Builder.io, all of these tools, like I tried out my hands a little bit on this, a little bit on that. Okay, how does this work? How does that work? And conclusively, I was able to come to this tool, Relium.io, which is pretty insane. So first, like, let's just like quickly see how magical this is. I hope I'm still sharing news with you guys. So we'll just tell it right here. Relium, I've just logged into Relium. I've started a new project, and I'm just gonna tell I want a website for pet foods, right? And then we'll see this in. Yikes! I am so sorry about this. Super sorry about this. Yeah, let's start again. A website for pet foods. And you just see, right, a sitemap that would have taken you like a good amount of time to imagine that, like, okay, I have a pet food website. I need like an about page, a product page, a blog page, right? In the product page, what kind of sections do I need? All of this would have taken you a significant amount of time to be able to come up with yourself. Relium does that for you, right? All of the sitemap is ready, and now you can like switch things around. You can add sections, remove sections. I don't really want to feature this section. I just get rid of this. I probably want a testimonial section, so I just add that right here, right? And this is exactly how the grounding of AI at FlytBase happened, right? So we have our homepage. We have our AI in action page where we have all of our hacks. We have our case studies, reading room where we have our AI handbooks, which if you haven't read already, I think it's super duper important that you do, because Nitin, the CEO of FlytBase, has documented some really, really important advice for surviving in the AI native era. So that's the reading room, contact page, and like a bunch of pages that we never really went ahead with. Here's the prompt that I had given it. of course, I actually jammed a lot with ChatGPT before I went to Relume to sort of figure out because I did not know the power of Relume yet, I was jamming with ChatGPT about what kind of site do I want, how many pages do I want. So the sitemap actually came out of there, and then I just pasted that as a prompt over here, and it generated this pretty decent sitemap for me. And I was kind of 80% there with the first version itself. Now, this is something that you just want to pick up based on how detailed you want to go in your first go. You just want to figure that out for yourself. But you have an 80% version or a 70% version in the first go. Then comes okay, now I have the number of pages that I want to produce. Now I have, let's say, I want to start with my homepage, and I have sections, right? I have sections in the homepage. Now I want to figure out what copy goes there. Extremely important. Are there any startup founders in the meeting? Real quick, if I can get a raise of hands. How many startup founders? Okay, hi guys. So you all have, I am certain you all have struggled to find web design agencies or freelancers on Fiverr or somebody in your network to sort of help get through with the technical communication, put it in an audience ready story, and write that copy in a really engaging manner for you. And the marketeers here, I'm sure you have spent a lot of time in sort of figuring out that sales story and the technical story and pushing it into a copy. Now we are in 2025. Who are we kidding? I know that all of us are using ChatGPT to write copy, but here's a mega hack to get significantly better output out of ChatGPT. When you tell a normal chat that, hey, here's a website I am imagining, and there's a section in it, and I want you to write the copy for it. The kind of output you would get there versus the kind of output you would get in a project environment is significantly different. Now, if any one of you has attended any of previous AI in Action webinars, we keep talking about how obsessed we are with projects in ChatGPT, projects in Claude, or whatever your AI or LLM preference is. We love working in projects because there's just so much more context you're able to give to your LLM. And then when people are complaining, oh, AI hallucinates and it doesn't really give good output, we're just wait, have you tried using projects? That's step number one. So here's what I did. I went to my AI at FlytBase project, and I gave a lot of dump into the instructions of it. I gave my entire dump of what I imagine AI at FlytBase to be, right? What kind of content we could produce, who are the kind of AI native builders, and what is the kind of audience we are looking for, what all essentially we could come up with, what are we not. All of my mental model went as an instruction note to AI at FlytBase. And here's some project files again, super duper important. I put of course Nitin's career handbook and a couple of thoughts on why we are sharing FlytBase's AI playbook in the first place. And also I put transcripts of the initial meetings that we used to have about imagining AI at FlytBase. I put transcripts of those meetings and put it right here so that AI is trained on the mental model of my entire team, right? And it has all the knowledge that I bear in order to produce good quality output. And that is how we are able to, with all of this knowledge now, AI is able to produce such high quality, such rich content for our website. Now we're picking up all of that content. I think I've experimented it right here, generated a copy for this sitemap as my last chat in this project. Then I take all of this copy that ChatGPT gives me, and I go back to Relume. Again, one more reason I love Relume. You can go from sitemap to wireframe, right? So essentially, these are our pages. I have defined I want a feature section, but feature section, how is it going to look? Is it like a horizontal scroll of like different e-commerce products, or is it like one broad feature with like one call to action button and one heading, or is it like a testimonial sort of thing? Or is it like a switch and swap kind of thing? How is it going to appear, right? This is where like a UX designer would typically come in. But all collapses, you get a wireframe right here. So we have defined that we want our homepage to have these many sections. Now your wireframe in Reloom tells you, okay, you want a banner page, here's how it looks. Quickly, you want to just shuffle it around. It gives you a lot of options to like, how you want this section to appear. It gives you a lot of options to like switch around those things, and you really get to be in charge. You really get the creative control over here. A lot of templates to work around with, and it will do this wireframing for all of your pages, not just one. Now that you have this wireframe, now what you want to do is essentially you want to take it and put it in a style guide, right? These are in your wireframe. You only ever have like these black and white like blocks of content. Okay, like possibly this could go here, sort of thing. But then you want to really define your fonts and your colors and like really the look and feel of the website, right? Relume. This tool is really insane. What I can do here is like I can just take. I think it's messing up a little bit, so I'm really sorry about that. But we're right here, and basically you can take your wireframe and you can tell that, okay, in my homepage, I want, or basically the whole website, I want like these colors, XYZ colors, and I want these kind of fonts, and you can like change things around it. It's kind of working like coolers for websites. So you can really just like, like if you're a non-designer like me, you can really just start working with these templates. But if you want to get into the nitty-gritty, you could just define these colors and these fonts for yourself right here. What I did was I jammed with ChatGPT and I asked it, okay, this is the kind of brand we're building. What kind of imagery or what kind of fonts and colors should we be using? And it gave me a pretty thorough list. And I inserted that over here, and then I have a style guide ready, which is ready to be imported in Webflow. Now, like just like quick intro to Webflow, like better than WordPress, less complicated, easier to build with, and offers a lot of customizations, offers a lot of animations, transitions, etc. Right? So what you want to do is you just take this style guide and you click on export right here. It allows you to export to Figma, React, and HTML. So if you're someone who wants to make severe customizations, you take it to HTML. If you're someone who wants to play around with the design, you take it to Figma. But then essentially when you export, I'm not going to export it right now because it takes like good like 30-ish minutes to like take your entire website and put it in Webflow. So you probably will just, once you're done producing this style guide, I think you can just go grab a quick lunch, and by the time you have exported, here's how it will look like. So let's go here. In our wireframe, we have created one page called AI News, right? Which is right here. And our style guide is pretty minimal. Like you have seen these colors and these fonts, pretty minimal style guide. So I am in Reloom. I am in this wireframe. And when I have exported it in Webflow, this is how it looks. Basically my style guide has been applied to this. And like the way the feature is supposed to look, the UI UX of it is exactly how I had decided in Reloom, right? So like now you have arrived at a very, very, very modular version of the website. Now what you want to do is probably like you can see that like, okay, it's getting there, it's there, but it's a little bit bland, right? You really want to add some imagery across the website to make it feel like a living and breathing version of it. Now, this is where like a lot of marketers would start to panic. I know I did, because I was like, how am I supposed to create on-brand imagery for a whole website, right? Because so much goes into defining a brand, so much goes into defining every single image. And when I tell ChatGPT, please, make a picture of a dog for me, it does something once, and then when I tell it the same thing again, it will do something completely different. So how do I make sure that it's brand aligned? I have this blog with like 15 banners, right? And all of them have to look and feel like they belong to the same brand. You'll be shocked to know, like, all of these images have been made in ChatGPT. They do look like they belong to the same brand. They fairly do, right? We're getting there. And all of these has been produced in like 1 or 2 prompts. How are we able to achieve this? Once again, this is the power of projects. So we are right here, ImageGen for AI FlytBase. This, I have just told it, hey, can you please make a screen out, can you please make an image out of multiple screens out of a CRM, right? Deals, tasks, emails, reminders, targets, etc. are floating in the air and organized in a visible manner. So like this is the kind of image I'm looking for. And it's able to produce this. Now you see, this is pretty much aligned to what our branding is. Similar example, I've just told it, I've given it a reference image that a bot is, an ATS is checking resumes. And I'm like, okay, I want something similar, but in our style. So here's what it produces, right? And I'm like, no, this is not so good. Like, can you try again? Maybe make these few changes, couple of tweaks, and this is what it produces. And I'm like pretty happy with this, right? These are my options. And here's how I'm achieving it. So instead of like telling ChatGPT every time in every prompt that, hey, these are the textures I want, these are the colors I want, you just go to a project and you instruct it that, hey, you are a senior visual concept artist, and you're not just here to create images, you are a mood architect. Now this is something that like I primarily wanted for myself, but here's the real hack, right? I've told it you have to stay visually consistent. You must operate with the intent to enhance the reader's emotional connection. What is the visual style guide? What is the mood and atmosphere? What is the lighting like? What is the ambience like? What is the subject treatment like? What is the technology element, human element, foreground, background, art style? What are the textures, edges? Like very, very detailed amount of information that this is how all the images, these are the things that should apply to all the images, right? And I've just given it these instructions. I have also, what I've done is like every time I produce an image out of this, I also feed it back the same image, so that every time, like the second time I'm producing the image, it has a reference of the previous image it has made, and it gets better every time. So you will actually see that the first image we made for AI at FlytBase is like somewhere here, but the latest one we've made is somewhere here. And like, that is the impact of being able to give your LLM context. Okay, so now we are back to this website. Now we are here. We have produced some good enough images. Now, like the agenda of the website is like, it's looking and feeling like a website now. But the agenda of the website is to bring in leads, right? For anything, for e-commerce, for our community, or for any B2B product that you're building. Ultimately, your website should be a lead magnet, right? So how do you create like a modular way of collecting leads? Webflow makes it super easy. What you want to do is just add an element of a form right here, and essentially just go to your Webflow dashboard. That is where the backend of the dashboard, that is where you will start seeing all of your leads, right? So every time a user is coming to your website and feels like, okay, this is something I associate with, I want to stay connected, I probably want a free trial, or I want to, maybe sign up for your newsletter. All of that data is getting collected into the backend Webflow form. So these are like, Webflow forms is like fairly basic thing to automate. It's no Greek that I'm telling. So not gonna get into that, but essentially, next thing that comes in to places, now that you have these, let's say now today you have launched the website, you have 10 new subscribers. How do you nurture these people? You can't like go and email them like individually, right? You can't really go and talk to them individually that, hey, I know you're interested in me, I am also kind of interested in you, like how should we start talking? You can't really start doing that when you're building at scale. So then what you want to do is create an automation to nurture these leads. What we have done is essentially we have created a 30-day drip. So every time someone signs up for AI FlytBase newsletter, I think for every alternate day for 30 days, they get an email from us. This could be about, these emails are spread across different themes, right? Like why we are doing this, our latest AI hacks, join the community, different themes, AI news. But for 30 days, they're getting an email in their inbox which is reminding them of AI at FlytBase. And that is once again, a very simple automation that I have made in Make. Similar thing can be done in NA10 as well, if you're more comfortable with that tool. Now, like, to just clarify, I'm not going into the nitty-gritty of how I built this. It's a fairly simple process, and I'm going to be dropping a link to the tutorial of connecting Webflow and Make towards the end of this webinar. So you all can go and test it out yourself. Okay, so now we have everything. We have like leads coming in. We have a living, breathing website. Now maintaining it and updating content, right? So last 5 minutes, and this is where I'm like going to drop a super bomb. So you see this. I think I had it open somewhere. So these case studies, right? I had posted this in our WhatsApp group earlier today, that we have been able to publish all of these case studies without ever touching the backend of Webflow. How is that? So this is the beauty of a framework called MCPs. Essentially, I am just in Claude, right? And I'm telling Claude, hey, please use Webflow MCP and create a case study. I've given it like the context of the case study. Here's a document, and I've actually asked it to, recommend some improvements. And I'm like, take all of these suggestions and put together a document. And then, like, when it's done that, the final version of the case study, I'm telling it, go produce a new case study, and it's going to ask me for some permissions right here. And then it says, I've successfully created a case study. And when it says that, I'm actually able to go and see this case study right here. The only thing I'm going to have to do is add this image over here, because that's something that Claude is not able to do yet. But like, look at the granularity. It knows what is your H1, it knows what is your H2, it knows what are pointers. And in fact, so there is a CMS within our CMS where we are able to describe or to mention what AI tools were used in this case study, right? And it's able to read that, and it's able to produce associated case study with 3 relevant AI tools from your collection. Which is like pretty crazy, right? Like, imagine how much time was collapsed. And I'm somebody who has had a lot of inertia in terms of publishing blogs, just fairly simply because of the reason of like the technical threshold that it takes. That I'll tell the developer that, hey, like, here's a blog, here's the image, can you please publish it? Lot of like, and then like I've also, like, for some projects I've also resorted to going to Substack or Medium or LinkedIn articles. But bringing like this kind of traffic to your website is become super important for SEO, and now it's also really easy. How I'm able to do this is embarrassingly easy. It's just connecting your Webflow project as an MCP in your Claude, which is like, I think it barely took me like 15 or 20 minutes to do that, and that too, like, I mean, I'm super bad at technology, so I'm sure it's an embarrassingly easy process. And once again, like, to be able to do that, for you to be able to do that, I'm going to be dropping a tutorial link that Webflow themselves have published. And I hope that you can get started with your personal brand's website, your e-commerce website, your B2B website, just as easily as I was able to. And I hope that this webinar, all of my hacks were useful to you guys. I'm open to any questions or anything you want to know about any tool. I think, Arshia, if you can just send across the link to the document where we have all the tutorials, it would be really helpful for everyone. All right, Arshia has dropped the link, guys. This is where all of my tutorials are present. Like, please go help yourselves. Save this for later. All right, marketers, founders, creatives, tell me questions. Also, I super hate talking to cameras, so it will help if you all can turn on yours.
Hey, hi, Kanchan.
Hi, Vedant. Hi, tell me.
Yeah. So what we saw right now was amazing for building a website out of a scratch. But say for example, you have your own website, right? And you
Right.
have your own database, your own backend. How do
Right.
you handle that?
Without I think like I'm sort of inexperienced with using the right AI toolkit for that, but I'm sure like if you just jam with ChatGPT a little bit, you will be able to find your answer.
Sure, thanks.
Anybody else?
Is there a particular AI for creating Figma designs?
For Figma designs, yeah, there are multiple actually. You just want to um, go and search for like UI designer AI, right? There's a bunch of them. As I said, like your builder.io, Wix produces it, and like Google has something called Stitch, which from where like you can like directly like design something over there and import it to Figma. Again, like depends on your use case, how deeply you're using Figma, and like what kind of output do you want to generate. So you really want to just experiment with different tools like to that fit specifically your use case, and then find out, okay, like this is the one I want to stick with.
Thank
Any
you.
AI tools for creating wireframes? Yes, it's called Relium.io. It's I'm sure there are more, and like we are only on like 29th of May of 2025. I'm sure like there are many more to come as we move forward. But as of now, I think from all of my experiments, I have found Relium to be the most reliable one. Thank you, Yashi. Loved it. Very informative. Thank you so much. Naveen has said, appreciate your time and effort in sharing your experience. Thank you so much. Sharing makes us sharper. So that's what we're all here for. Uh, Yes, Tejashree, we will be publishing a recording of this webinar on our YouTube. You might just want to subscribe to our channel to get an update on that. And I'm sending you a link for the channel. Just hold on tight. We'll probably publish the recording by tomorrow's time. So you'll get a quick push notification for that. Oh, thank you so much, Ajay.
Hello, excuse me, ma'am.
Hi.
Ma'am, I'm as an Angular developer. So we need like one project as a website. So that time you are passing the prompt as a AI. So that time this is not completely functionality is written as a code. So we should enter as if we want after getting code or implemented that we should
I think
again
Ghanshyam,
give
I'm
prompt
having a
him.
little bit of trouble hearing you. Ghanshyam, just one second. I'm having trouble in hearing you because there's a lot of background noise. It would be awesome if you can just drop your question in the chat instead.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I said if we need to pass the AI, so that is not complete written the full code as a requirement. So that time we should tell him to AI to a particular point, if they are given code to like a dashboard page and there are multiple like buttons or some functionality. So that is not working. So we should need to give him or again prompt. So this is correct or something different way to use?
Yeah, we have some trouble hearing you, but I get your question there. So yeah, you can use that way. But as Kashi shared, this is much more for websites, which is more driven towards marketing or starting from scratch. So surely you can do that on those front, but you would have to go into more deeper with things like Claude Code or bunch of other things where you're able to code in Angular or certain kind of things. This is more certainly for things which have no code and low code kind of frameworks like Webflow, and how to use with the existing tools without even getting into details of Webflow.
Also, I think
Okay.
somebody,
As
Ghanshyam, I
we
hope
are
your
using
question is answered.
okay, man. As we are using VS Code, so which AI should use for dynamically inbuilt we are using in VS Code?
But VS Code, again, you can use Claude Code. Claude Code has been there, and now with Opus
I
Code
think
coming.
VS Code also has its own copilot now.
Yeah, GitHub Copilot, there are some updates as well. But yeah, you can use Windsurf. You can use Claude Code around with that, and that should be good to kind of get started. Our teams have been leveraging that a lot.
And also, Ghanshyam, like bring in more such questions into the WhatsApp community. I think it's super important to be like asking these questions and learning from each other. I'm just going to be quickly sharing my screen for the WhatsApp community's link.
Okay, ma'am.
And also, I think somebody in the chat had earlier asked, Gaurav had asked, how did you use AI to incorporate generated images in the website? So Gaurav, what you want to do is just, it's super simple process. Like you just want to download it from ChatGPT, and in Webflow, you have like an asset library, like like you would have in your Canva or Figma. Same way you have an asset library in Webflow. So you just want to like upload all of these images in Webflow, and then like when you're actually like on your website and you're building your website, it gives you an option to select the images from your asset library. So that's all. Do we have any more questions? I think we are a little over time, so we would love to take this to WhatsApp. But just in case anybody has any questions, I'm here for another minute.
Hi, Kachi.
Hi,
Sorry
hi.
to interrupt you. Yeah. So, first of all, I love the energy you people have up here. So, it's
Thank you.
wonderful. So, just one question: like, if I want to join FlytBase, right? How could I approach?
Awesome, awesome. I'm just going to share a link to Life at FlytBase, which is our careers website. You will find all the relevant information over there.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Awesome. And stay connected on our WhatsApp community for the latest updates.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
everybody.
so much, guys. We are going to be dropping June's calendar for AI in action soon. So please do stay connected. Of course, like WhatsApp community, you're going to get a blast. Luma community, you're going to get a blast. If you haven't already signed up, please do. And yeah, I hope to see you guys, all of you, next Thursday. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining.